Hello ladies, so today we're going to talk about the psychology of weight loss and what's actually happening to us, both physiologically, so actually happening to our body, the changes that are happening and what the processes are called, and also what impact that has on us psychologically, okay, and why it's so hard to lose the weight that we want to lose, and why it's so hard to get to where we want to get to, and why it takes time. So first of all, hands up if you still want to achieve your long-term goal. Hands up if you feel like you've learned a lot so far in the program. Third one, hands up if you feel like there's still more to learn. Next one, hands up if you just want to live a balanced lifestyle at a weight and shape that you feel confident at. I'm sure that's something that you can all relate to. And then the last one, hands up if you thought about raiding the treat drawer over the last couple of weeks. I'm sure you have, I know I certainly have as well. So the topics we're going to go through each week one by one, and what's happening to our body and where we're at mentally and physically as we move through it. So first week 1 and week 2, motivation levels are high. We're really excited, we're really getting forward, moving forward and really cracking on with what we're doing. There's loads to do. We're learning the app, we're learning about tracking our food, we're learning food, we're trying to mess around with things and work out what weights and what measurements of our food we should be having. So there's loads to learn, but we're really excited, we're really motivated, and we're moving forward. What often happens in this part of the program is we get a rapid weight loss, of a big loss of weight. Of majority of that is going to be water. The reason for that is 50 to 60% of our body weight total is actually water. So this fluctuates massively depending on the amount of salt, sugar and carbohydrates in our diet. So when we have that big Sunday roast or that big meal that we feel bloated on afterwards, where we have too many carbohydrates often or too much salt, as a result, what happens is when our body stores those excess carbohydrates away, that excess food that we didn't need, it stores it away. But when it stores it away, it also stores it with 3 grams of water. So what happens is when we then start to balance our food, we start to eat on a bit of a calorie deficit, which most of you will be doing, but you're focusing on your macronutrients and hitting your protein. What will happen is your body will drop that water weight straight away, and that's why we get that awesome quick result in the first 2 weeks for sort of 90% of people. Okay. As a result of this, the order that our body finds energy from then starts to change. So first of all, it'll go there as we tidy up our eating in the first 2 weeks, we get that instant weight loss. Second, after that, our body will then, if we're not having enough food, if we're not hitting our calorie targets, our body will then go searching for energy, and it will go for muscle before it goes for fat. So our body will go and take energy, so it will break down muscle before it goes down and breaks down fat for energy. If we're not eating enough, if we're eating well, we're hitting our macronutrient and our calorie targets, then our body will start eating fat for energy. Okay. The last thing we want to do is our body fat percentage to come up and our muscle mass percentage come down. This is going to have a negative effect on our metabolism, which means that our body will not burn as many calories day to day just from what we're doing. Okay. Overall we want our muscle mass percentage to come up, and naturally we'll burn more calories just by sitting around. Week 3, we're still feeling motivated. You've come in, you've had your checkup with us, you've got weighed, and you're still feeling motivated from where you're at, and you're starting to find foods and become a lot more consistent with what you're eating and when you're eating and why you're eating it. You're starting to learn a lot as well. But unfortunately, what you've got around the corner is week 4 coming up. This is scientifically proven to be the toughest point of when we change our lifestyles. This is the point at which the majority of people drop out of doing anything. Okay, so if people are going to drop out at any point from doing changing their lifestyle in any way, from their food to their exercise to their sort of accountability measures, this is going to be the point. So it's often the toughest week mentally, so we just want to prepare you for that, so you know that is coming. Okay, but we have to push through this week. It's heavily dependent on our results, and we're always going to want more. Everyone is going to want more. We've had people before that have lost ridiculous amounts of weight, 16, 15 pounds in that time, and they still want more. People that have lost sort of 4 or 5%, they still want more after 4 weeks. It's understandable. But then there's people that have only lost 4 or 5 pounds, even less than that sometimes. It's completely understandable that we want more, but all we have to do is trust the process. Okay, it's a smooth process. We keep moving forward day after day. as a result of this, because our body is starting to move into a position now that it's going to start burning fat for energy. That's why it's making it so hard for us. Our brain's going to say, I want to keep hold of this fat that I've got stored, that's been stored there for weeks, months, even years, is our sort of safety blanket for our brain. It's our safety blanket in case our brain suddenly thinks that we're not going to have food for the next 3 days. That's why it keeps that fat sitting there, and as a result it's going to start telling you, I can't do this, it's not worth it, this isn't right for me, when actually you've already made some great progress. You've just got to push through this week, and I promise you it gets easier after that. If you've eaten well, you've maintained your calorie targets, you've hit your macronutrient targets, your starvation response will be sufficing, so that will be gone. Okay, so our need to sort of grab food quickly won't be there. We won't be as desperate for foods, okay? However, what is also going to happen now is this here, glucogenesis, okay? What's happening there is our body's transferring over, and it's now going to start using fat for energy, okay? So we've done the hard work now, and the reason our brain is really fighting against us and telling us this is impossible and I can't do it and it's not working is because our brain is now swapping over and starting to use that fat for energy. So if anything, when you start thinking like that, and we all do, even we've got Sarah down here, she has a team around her when she's getting prepared for her fights, she starts to feel depressed and alone, okay, even though she has a whole team around her supporting her, working with her every day. So when you start feeling like that, if anything, you should look at it as a good thing, because it means that your body is switching over and it's using fat for energy, okay? That's what we're all here for. We're here to get rid of that excess fat that's killing our confidence and stopping us wearing what we want to wear and doing what we want to do, okay? So we push through there. Week 5 and 6, they are much easier than week 4, okay? It's the final push on the program. Your routine of tracking your food is becoming easy. You're starting to make smart choices even when you're not prepared. So you forget your lunch one day and you still make a smart choice when you're at work or you're out. You still make a smart choice with your food. You're listening to the team, you're taking on board what we're telling you, and you're starting to implement it without even thinking now. You're now almost halfway through to setting a long-term sustainable habit, and that's what this program is all about. Educating you to set long-term sustainable habits to get you an awesome result, but so that you could sustain it in the long run. What's at the bottom here is really important. We would have spoke to you a little bit about this in your week 3 consult, but what it says is a study back in 2017 conducted on individuals who took part in a short-term lifestyle change program, so a program similar to this, either this or anything less than 8 weeks. What happened was 70 to 80% of those people that did not carry on with the program, with the support, actually weighed more than they did at the start of the program within 6 months of finishing. Okay, so that's really powerful. That shows that what they were learning just wasn't sustainable, okay, and what we need you to do is be really accountable and keep sustaining the work that you've put in so far. You've done the hard stuff now. What's happening in week 5 and week 6 is your sugar tolerance is going down, so you're not craving the crap anymore. You're not craving those things that give you that real buzz that you were really desperate for before. But as a result as well, when you have them, you don't need anywhere near as much for it to give you that satisfaction that you needed. I don't know, for example, you might need a whole pot of ice cream before to satisfy you. Now you might only need a quarter of a pot, half a pot to get that same satisfaction, because your sugar tolerance has massively improved. You're starting to learn to play the game, so you've got events. There's a video on this by Ben. The example, playing the game, is basically you've got an event, you've got something coming up where you know you're going to go over your calorie target, you're not going to hit your macronutrients that day. What we're going to do is we're going to manipulate those numbers day to day leading up to it and afterwards, and you're going to still be able to, over the course of the week, still hit your figures, okay, even with that spike on that day that you had a wedding or a night out or whatever going on. And like I said before, you're now starting to create lifelong sustainable habits, which take 12 weeks to set in place. If you can set them in place for 12 weeks and sustain them, then you're almost certain. It takes 12 weeks. If you can sustain something for 12 weeks, it becomes a habit we don't even have to think about to maintain. Finally, closing points. If it was all about willpower, everyone would do it. Everyone at some point gets enough willpower that they could lose the weight. But it's not all about that. It's about the psychology and the physiology of what's actually going on. Over the years, you've been given loads, hundreds of thousands of tips on how to lose weight and what's going on and how to get on with things. But actually, it's not just about eating this and don't eat that and do this and don't do that. If it was that simple, everyone would do it. And what we need to understand is this little bit at the bottom here. We are complex beings in a full tilt world, Okay, so that pretty much says that we're in a world that is crazy. Everyone's in a world that's crazy, that we get highs and lows, ups and downs, and our priorities change drastically from day to day. And what we need to do is we need to understand and support people on a deeper level of our feelings, thoughts and beliefs. Okay, so that's what we're here to do. We're trying to offer you as much accountability as possible. We're trying to support you through all the things that are going to go on just in this 6 weeks and moving forward. And we understand that there's loads to life, not just coming down to us and working out with us and doing your bit of training and speaking to us on the phone. There's a lot more to it than that, and we completely understand. And what we also want to help you with as well is that when it comes down to it, being able to release weight and be healthy is just all that we're here to do. Yes, we're going to feel more confident, yes, we're going to be able to do more and feel more active, but overall, if we're not healthy, then we haven't got anything. That's what we believe, and that's why we're so passionate down here at Fit for Life. That's why our brand's called Fit for Life, because we just want you to be able to be fit for the life that you want to live. Whatever that is, we want you to have the confidence, the ability to go and do whatever you want to do with your life and with your time. And without that health, I believe that sort of we're not going to get what we want from our lives. Okay, so we're here to help you every way that we can. Hopefully now you understand a little bit more about the psychology of weight loss, what happens, why it happens, what's actually going on in our body to cause us to feel like that and to feel like we can't do it anymore and our brain doesn't want to do it. Actually, when we get to that stage, it's a good thing. Okay, so ladies, as always, any problems, any questions, give us a shout and we'll see you soon.